Howdy, meow. Welcome to Petty Talks TV. This is your family's talk show about pets, where nothing is too petty for us to talk about when it comes to our pets. So come, let's meet fellow pet lovers. Subscribe to our channel and allow us to entertain you and hopefully even inspire you. Today's topic is about Imbar Golt. She is joining us from Israel. Straight from Israel, she was born blind and has discovered that she is able to heal. Now, we are live on Facebook and YouTube on the first and third Saturday of the month. We're also on Instagram. So if you're watching this in a replay, just go ahead and move the video forward. My name is Tita Me, shortcut for Tita Meow, because I love cats, but we obviously talk about other animals and issues as well. Now, if you just missed that, our topic is about Israeli healer Imbar Golt, who was born blind and was bullied, but has later on discovered that she is able to heal. Now, she is a public speaker and she's a writer. She's joining us from Israel. We did an earlier recording and she's not going to be on video, but I'm going to try my best and show some pictures while the interview's going on. Now, her talks are about listening to oneself, others, and the earth. She also gives talks on inclusivity and sustainability. She's a spiritual coach and mentor. And get this, she has worked as a music director and presenter at a radio station in Israel. She's a sailor, she can sail, and she loves nature, she loves to travel, she loves music and empowering people. If you want to know more about Imbar, you can check out her Facebook page, Imbar Golt, and she also has her own YouTube channel called Earth Friendly. So, friends, let's welcome none other than our very good friend, Imbar Golt. Imbar Golt, I am so honored and privileged and happy to have you today in Petty Talks TV. You know, you are my first international guest all the way from
Wow.
Israel. I am so excited, Imbar. How are you today?
I'm very well, thank you. And it's a pleasure to be on your show.
Wow. It's the first time you've been interviewed by someone from the Philippines, I suppose.
Yes, that's right.
Yes, yes. You know, I read your resume earlier, and like just to repeat that, you're a public speaker. Of course, it's been known that you're blind since birth, and you do talk about listening to yourself and to others and the earth. And your talks are center on inclusivity and sustainability. And because of the things that you've experienced, you have discovered that you have the ability to heal. That is so awesome. Before we get into that healing talks, I'd like to ask Imbar, surely you've been asked so many times already in the past. If you don't feel comfortable answering any question, just say next question. All right? Is that
No
fine?
problem. Yes.
Okay. So, Imbar, can you tell me a little about yourself? Like, what kind of childhood you had, and also one question is what kind of childhood you had, and I want to know exactly how you realized that you had disadvantage in terms of or visual impairment. So, can you walk us through that?
Sure. Well, I was born to two parents who got divorced very early in my childhood, to
Yes.
about three. So I grew up with my mom and with an older sister. My
Mm-mm.
older sister is sighted. And I don't call it a disadvantage, my blindness. I call it a different ability. So
Right. That's a
I,
very,
I, mm,
yes.
yeah, I grew
Thank you.
up knowing that I could do anything I wanted, or most things that I wanted, just in a different way. You know, I did
Mm-hmm.
everything. I went to kindergarten and school, and and activities after school and all kinds of stuff, and a youth group and everything. But I did it in my own way, a lot, using a lot of senses, using hearing and touch and smell and taste. And also, I think the sixth and seventh sense of intuition and feeling stuff around me with energy. And I grew up, it was a nice, good childhood. There were challenges, of course, like every child has.
Mm-mm.
Mine centered around not being able to see, and society being a bit prejudiced, a bit not forgiving
Mm-mm.
to someone who is not is different. Was not like the norm, as as society
Mhm.
calls it.
Mhm.
But apart from that, I had a good childhood. We had a dog, and we went on trips, and with my father and with my mother, and I studied like everybody else, and I played music, and I sang. I still do, actually.
Wow.
And I
Yes.
read a lot, and I wrote. I write up until today. I'm planning to send a book to publishers soon about what you mentioned about listening to self and others and to the earth, and
Mm-mm.
being more earth friendly and bringing hearts together or closer together. And I've also always was interested in nature and in animals and in the planet and in space. Even I love sciences.
Space.
Yeah,
Yes. Yes.
I
Yes.
really wanted to know more about space. Now you
Y-
can even hear space, which is very interesting. So yeah, I listened a lot to the radio, and I learned English at school, but I also listened to the BBC a lot and the Voice of America and all kinds of things like that.
Mm-mm.
I went for a year in America, in the United States, when I was 17,
Mhm.
between the grades of 11 and 12. I went to a one-year program for gifted blind children or youth from many, many countries. We had two people from the Philippines, actually, two
Really?
students, and we had two teacher trainees from the Philippines. So it was very nice to meet
Mm-mm.
them. Um, and many, many other places, Japan and Nepal, and in many places from Europe, and of course Israel. And yeah, it was a very interesting experience to meet many people from around the world, both teachers and students. Yeah, and then I went to university and I studied Italian because I thought I would translate from Italian to Hebrew. But it
Wow.
didn't work because there are not many dictionaries around in Braille or on audio
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
for dictionaries. So it was technically not very easy. So I decided just to translate from Hebrew to English and English to Hebrew. But I stopped doing that when my public speaking work got more intensive, and I'm doing that till today. I've been doing that for 35 years. I started giving public talks when I was 14. People called me to give talks to teachers and to students and to people that deal with the blind people, like professional rehabilitation. It's called rehabilitation workers. So I lectured. I gave public talks to them, and then I started giving public talk to youth groups and to people at different, activity centers and old age homes and all kinds of places, universities,
Mm-hmm.
and it went on from there. And yeah, I'm
Okay.
still doing it. Yeah.
You really have a very vibrant life. Your interests are very broad, and I assume you really dive deep into whatever you get your mind into, right? I want to ask that question. Like, as a child, when exactly and how did you discover your, as you said, it's a different
My
ability.
different ability, yes.
Yes.
Well,
How
I
did
was
you
in
know?
kindergarten.
And how was it,
Uh,
Imbar? How was it explained to you by your
yeah,
parents?
yeah. Well, I was in kindergarten, and the children painted something, and I couldn't do it. I couldn't paint like they did, and I went to my mother and I said, "Why can't I paint? Why am I different from them?" And she explained that can't see, and that
Mm,
there are some things that I will have to do in a different way, but it
mm-hmm,
doesn't mean that I will not be able to do stuff.
mm-hmm,
That the only thing I won't be able to do is to drive and to fly a plane. Although I've driven boats, I'm a boater, a sailor. I love boating, And yeah,
Wow.
and that's how she explained it. And since
I'm
then,
clapping my
it
hands.
wasn't very it wasn't very easy, but
Mhm.
I think easy is as easy as you make it. And when you learn to do stuff in a different way, you just do it, and it becomes simple and easy,
Mhm.
or easier for that matter.
Okay, that's really so incredible. Okay, so to be honest, friends, there was a little glitch in our internet connection on my end. So we are resuming our recording. I was explaining earlier when we opened the show that Imbar is all the way from Israel, although we are on the same day, the time zone is different. So we're a few hours ahead, and it wouldn't be so nice for her to have to wake up so early and all that. So anyway, so back to you, Imbar. So all right, you told me as a child you enjoyed yourself. You went, you had so many experiences, and I'm gonna ask you. You said you had a dog, right? Let's jump right
Yes.
in because this is Petty Talks.
Right.
So, yeah. So, what kind of dog did you have? How old were you when you first had your first pet?
Oh, well, I was actually, I was, first of all, afraid of dogs. And my mother
Oh,
said, "Oh my
you're
God,
like me.
how is
I'm
she gonna
afraid
have
of.
a guide dog?" She wanted me to have a guide dog, a dog that helps the blind. How is she gonna have a guide dog if she's afraid to touch a dog? Because I was
Yes,
afraid of the fur, of the hair of the dog. And she decided she's not gonna give up, and she's gonna make me feed puppies and see how I like it. And I
yes.
liked it very much. And since then,
Oh,
I really got used to the hair, to the fur, to the
oh,
hair of the dog, of other animals. I've had many experience with animals. We'll talk about it.
yeah,
So I had a German. I got a. We had before. We had a few poodle that was not very nice, and we had some other dogs. But my real childhood friend was a German Shepherd, a huge female German Shepherd, very cute, a gentle giant. And I got her, or we got her when I was 6, and she was 4.
mm-mm.
And she was wild. She came from a little village, and she ran around and used to eat chickens and all kinds of stuff. It was
Oh my
crazy.
gosh.
And she was very sweet. And it turned out she was pregnant, and she gave birth to 10 puppies.
Uh,
10
and
puppies, but
puppy,
not
that's so
many of them survived. Only 2 survived, unfortunately, and we gave them up to friends. But she was lovely. She was a lovely dog. She was an untrained guide dog. She would lead me when we would go
untrained.
on trips. No, she
Yeah.
would go. We would go on trips around the city, around where I lived. I lived in Beersheba. Maybe you know it. It's in the Bible. Beersheba,
Yes.
Beersheba. So we lived there, and we went to trips around the city, to forests, to places, to all kinds of wild fields and stuff. I love nature, and my father too, and my mom. So we went around the city, and she led me around without another person holding my hand. She would lead me around. She was being so careful, and she was not trained at all. She would just do it from instinct, from intuition. She was wonderful. She was a great friend, and she was a guard dog too. And she didn't let anything happen to me or to my sister or my mom. And she was wonderful. And we went out on many walks with her, and she was a great friend. She passed away, unfortunately, when I was 14. She was 12. But she was lovely. She was lovely. She was a lovely girl. And since then, I've had 3 guide dogs, and then I've had another Labrador who was blind, actually. So yeah, some people say the blind leading the blind, but we did it very well because I know how to lead, and I went around with him, and I took him out, and yeah, we played together, and it was a great dog. He was very friendly. He stayed with my family for 8 years. I took him to my place when he was 10, something like 10, no, less, 9, and spent some time with him until he passed away, unfortunately, from cancer. But he was a great dog, a great, very huge Labrador, a little bear of a dog. And he was playful, even though he was blind, he was very happy with us. And he was a very warm dog, very cuddly, very gentle, very playful. And my
And
guide dogs too, they were lovely dogs, very friendly, they were friends. One of them is still with me. He's retired, but he's still with me. He's 9 years old now. Another huge Labrador, very gentle and very friendly.
oh, I like it when you said the blind leading the blind. it's
Yes, but
it's it's
it
like
went
quite,
well. It worked well.
yeah. In bar, that's hard to imagine. Like like your dog's blind, and you say, like how it's amazing how that could have happened. Okay,
Yeah, I
so
would walk with one hand with a cane and one hand with a leash of the dog, and I would guide him.
okay, wow, and you're the guide.
I was the
It-
guide.
yeah,
I was the guide dog of the dog.
you're the guide of the guide dog.
No, no, I was the guide dog of the dog because he wasn't a guide dog. He was a real
Oh,
regular dog.
so you switched titles.
Yeah,
You
I
switched
switched roles.
You're so fun to talk to, Imbar.
Thank
What
you.
other animals did you have experiences with when you were young, when you were a kid? Just more of
Uh, loved
dogs?
I loved riding horses, so I've ridden horses since I was 16. I don't do it anymore because I don't believe humans should impose themselves on animals, on horses, especially, riding them. And so I don't ride anymore. But when I used to ride, I was very, very close to the horses I've ridden. I used to work with them and groom them you know, train them a little bit. And I learned horsemanship and all kinds of stuff. So um, they were very close to me. The funny thing was that I had a visually impaired horse that I rode on one of the places I went riding. So it was also the blind leading the blind, but it was very nice. And she was an older horse, but she wasn't gentle, but she was fun to work with. She was okay. She had a nice trot and a nice canter or lope, as you call it. So I enjoyed myself with her. I was very sad when she went on to retirement. They gave her to a place where she could retire in peace and quiet. But I rode with her for 2 years. And later, when I was a bit older, I rode with a horse called Spot. He was very, very nice. He was part pony, part sort of those painted horses, the pinto horses. And he was very nice. And one day was a very, very interesting experience. I was grooming him and he needed to scratch himself. So he moved his leg very, very gently so that I'll know that he needed to move, he needed to scratch. So I would step back, and he didn't scratch himself until I stayed well enough back from him so that he wouldn't hurt me. He actually waited until I stepped back until he scratched himself, and you could see that he really needed to, but he waited. And there was a great telepathic connection with him, with this horse. I knew when he was sad. I knew when he was feeling well. He had laminitis in one leg, so I knew that when he was in pain. And I'm a healer, so I could help heal him or make him easier in him, lessen the pain for him. So I heal animals too, and I heal people. And yeah, and it was a great experience. It was a wonderful horse. I had very nice rides with him, also outside of the riding school. We went on trips, little short trips for an hour or so, and it was very nice. And later he was too lame to ride, but he was a great, great, great soul. He had a huge, good soul and a heart as big as, I don't know, an elephant's, not a horse's. He was amazing, amazing, amazing. And I've had very, very wonderful, deep experiences with telepathy, with a dolphin, for example. Can I tell you about that? Hello?
So I would love so much to hear about your experiences with dolphins. Please
Yeah,
go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. You broke up for a second, so I didn't know if you were still
No,
there.
I just
Okay.
muted myself because,
Yeah.
yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So I love the sea. I love swimming, and as I said, I'm a boater, and
Yes.
I tried to dive. I went on diving to a place called the Dolphin Reef. It's in Eilat. I live in a place called Eilat. The most southern town in Israel. We have a place called the Dolphin Reef, and I have a very nice pod of dolphins, something like 8 or 9 females and males, and they train them to be therapy dolphins for people with autism, for people with trauma, for people who need healing, and I loved it. And they do also diving with them for people who are not disabled or differently abled, or for people who are differently abled. So I went on a dive with them, and I was diving. I was learning how to, move in the water, and we were 7 meters deep or so. And this dolphin came up to me, and she was very close. I could feel her, and I stretched out my hand. My guide sort of took my hand and brought it to her, to feel her, and I touched her and I petted her, and she even let me hug her because she got so close to me. So I could even hug her. And that was another telepathic experience. There was so much love there that it was amazing, amazing. And then she stayed with me for quite a while. She was clicking, and she was sort of talking to me in her own way. And it was so lovely. She and I really had a bond that was not, it didn't matter what species we belonged to. I'm human, she's dolphin, but we felt like we are one, as one. It
Yeah,
was amazing, amazing. I'm still excited when I tell it because
I
it
can
was such a lovely
tell.
experience.
I can tell with your voice, Imbar. Like I can feel it. I can feel your real passion about nature and animals. I can tell in your voice how excited you are about that experience. So
Yeah.
all right. So you had dogs, you have dolphins, you experienced horses. I wanted to say earlier, in relation to your having told me earlier, even before we started this session, that you have this connection with animals. Because there's this trainer I see also. He's a foreign trainer, and he's able to have a connection with horses and goats and cows that they stay together in one area, and then before you know it, the horses lay down beside them and they fall asleep. So I believe also that communicate you can communicate with the animals, with these animals. And if we're really sensitive enough, we get into a space where I don't know how to explain it, but like I my own experience in bar is like when I meditate, or when I try to just not get myself distracted by things that I have to do, and I just focus on what am I hearing right now? Like I can hear the leaves, I can hear the breeze, you know, and it gives you a different sense of fulfillment. You feel like connected. You feel connected to nature. And this sounds funny, but like sometimes when I go under the sun, I can almost hear the sun. Am I exaggerating?
No, no, I can sometimes hear the sky sing. So I can relate. It
Yeah.
has a voice, it
Yeah.
has a frequency, it has vibration, and
Yeah.
people who are in tune to it can hear it.
Yes, yes.
Sometimes I go out and I'm like, wow, the sky is singing.
Yeah. Do you remember, let's not sing it because we might get copyright issues here. I was gonna mention
Yeah,
this song of Pocahontas, but it's all right. Let's leave that alone.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. No,
Imbar,
no, no
yeah, I
copyright issues.
yeah. I promise that we will try to keep the interview short. I've barely scratched anything about you, but in fairness to you, I just like to hear something more. So right now you do have a dog. What's the name? Poncho? Poncho,
Yes,
right?
he's Poncho. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
retired
Can
as
you,
a retired
yes,
guide dog.
and share with the audience how your days, how you go about your day with Poncho, or are you like connected with him? Do you take Poncho with you everywhere you go?
No,
How
I
does
don't
your day
because he's
start?
retired right now.
All
But
right.
I do. I take him out, of course, on little walks, and I play with him, and we're very connected. He's a very intuitive dog. He's very connected himself to the earth, to Gaia herself, and I feel it. I feel his vibration as well, and he's here to heal others, to heal people. People just come up to him and he says, "Whoa, what a great dog!" and they hug him or they pet him and he licks them and they already feel better. You can tell that he's a healer. He's a healer dog, and not the breed healer, but he heals people. And yeah, and he's a very special dog. He doesn't give love in a certain way that other dogs do. Sorry, he he's he's different. He's a bit different. He's quieter, and he just sometimes would not want you to touch him, but you know that he loves you because he's there and his presence is so strong. And yeah, it's very, very lovely to see that people and animals get and give love in different ways, and it's amazing. So he's not this dog he would cuddle with you like my dog Skipper, the blind dog, did. Or he's not the other, and another guide dog I had who was very, very affectionate, and every time I was in trouble, I was sick, he would lie beside me and he was really guard me. I'm talking about another guide dog. His name was Fang, but he was not vicious at all. He was also a very, very gentle guide dog, very good one. So yeah, Poncho gives love in a different way, and he needs to receive love in a different way, which is very interesting. Um, I also had my mother had a business, a pet owner's business, or like a pet therapy, sorry, business that I helped her with. And we had all kinds of animals. We had chinchilla and a snake and gerbils and mice and rats and rabbits and guinea pigs. And one of the guinea pigs got sick. He had a stroke, and he had one of his flanks, one side was paralyzed, and he needed to be cared for. He really needed to be cared for, and I took him upon myself to care for him.
Hmm.
And I would lead him. I would put him near the water, near the food, and the way he communicated was amazing. He once sort of got turned over, and he was lying on his back with his feet in the air, and I got into the room, and he was, he went and he communicated with me like he was in trouble, and I went and I saw I touched him, and I said, "Oh, you turned over, poor thing." So I turned him back the right way, and I brought him close to the food and water, and he started eating and drinking. So that was a great way for him to communicate, "Hey, I need help. I'm in trouble here." And on my side was we thank goodness I was aware enough to know that, hey, something was wrong with him, and I rushed to his side and I helped him. In the end, we decided to end his suffering, but because I thought he would get healthy, but he didn't. He didn't get better, so I took him out of his pain and misery. But in this, I discovered another level of communicating and connection with an animal. That it's not like a dog who would, if you wanted to go out or play, he would bark at you. The play bark that they have, or the I want something bark or whatever. So it's not a dog that really speaks to you in their own way. It's a guinea pig, and it's a different species. It's you don't have a lot of.
So go ahead, Imbar. I'm sorry, there was another glitch. Oh, talk
Yeah.
about uh technology. All right. So we just carry on, right, Imbar? And
Yes,
I'm
yes,
so
we do.
I'm so blessed to have somebody like you uh, journeying with me through this day.
That's
This is
fine.
something, yeah, this is something new. This is something I'm gonna really remember, really special. So I am just so privileged. I'm so from my heart. You cannot see me, I know, but I hope
I
you
can
can.
hear it. I can hear it in your voice, and it's a pleasure to do it with you. It's fine. I'll give you as much time as you need, and it's so important for me to talk about animals and about the connection because, as I mentioned before, I don't know if it got recorded. About unconditional love that exists between species. Yeah,
Mhm. Yes, yes.
between animals and people and between animals and animals, it's important that we see it. It's important that we learn from it because, as I said, I'm helping this guinea pig and s- working with him until I saw that he was in too much pain, so I put him out of his misery. But still, he connected, he communicated with me, and I with him through touch, through the healing I try to do, through helping him when he was in trouble. Really, he was a very, very sick uh, guinea pig, but we communicated, and also with the dolphin, with the horses, with the dogs, it's they give you unconditional love. It doesn't matter who you are or where you are from or what you are. They'll love you because you are another being of this world, of this earth, of this universe. Even they'll communicate with you and they'll give you their unconditional love because you're of them, you're one with them, you know.
We're just so full of positive vibe, Imbar. It's so
Do
refreshing
my
to talk.
best.
Yes, yes. You can talking to you makes me feel like the world's really beautiful, right? And there's really so much that we have to appreciate here on Earth. And it's just so sad that people don't really take that much time anymore to experience these things that you're talking about. Now, Imbar, I would just like to ask from you one message of inspiration that I hope the young listeners will understand and hear about what they miss. What do you think what do people miss these days when they're so much into gadgets, when they're so much into other things and they fail to experience nature? Can you give them some piece of advice?
Yes, I would tell them to listen, to go deeper within themselves, to turn off the screens, to turn off the gadgets for even for 5 minutes or for 1 minute, and to listen, to really listen to themselves, to what they really want, to listen to a bird outside the window, to take time to pet a dog, to take time to hold another person's hand, to take time to go out in nature and look at a tree or look at the sea or a lake or a river just for a few minutes. If you can't do it for longer, just for a few minutes. Everybody has a few minutes. And to really listen to what you want, to listen to the sun or the sky, as we talked before, to really pay attention. Maybe a little first, just a little more. And every time a little more and a little more. And you find that when you do, you'll discover a whole world of love and of connection and of communication with yourself, with other people, with animals, with the planet, with, your surroundings. It's very important because this world will be much better for it if people just took a few minutes, just a little bit more attention, just a little bit listening closely or closer to even to yourself, even to what you want. Don't do stuff with automatically. Oh, I need to do that. I need to do this.
Right.
No.
Yeah, yeah.
Why? Stop for a second and say, do you really want to do that? do I really want to do it now? Do I really want to go into this drama or into this troubling thing, or or talk in that way, or pay attention to something that really won't help me in life and maybe will harm me because I'll be more anxious or stressed or in trouble with myself or with others because I do that certain thing. Just stop and think for a moment. Do I want to do that, or do I want to be in nature for a second and listen to a bird, or be in my room for a second and listen to myself and to my heart and what my purest needs or desires or wants or dreams are. Dreams are very important. I think we forgot to dream and forgot to fulfill dreams. And I'm not talking about having a house or having a car or having a job or having a girlfriend, boyfriend, or stuff like that. Really, what is meaningful? What is important in life? And when you do that, you talked about meditation. You don't have to have a ceremony or meditation, a guided thing. You just
Mm.
go within yourself, just a little bit at a time.
Mhm.
And that will change your world. Believe me, I know. If you're ready
Oh,
to do it, you need to be willing to, but it'll
yeah.
change your world for the better. And there'll be a
I
lot of healing.
yeah. It's beautiful what you said. And I really picked up from what you said about listening to your own heart, listening to your body. Yeah, because you can hear, you can hear your own system. Really listen to your heartbeat, right? So,
And then when you listen to
Imbar.
your heartbeat, you hear what it wants from
Yeah,
you.
yeah. It's not often that I get to talk to people like you, Imbar. You bring me to a different dimension, and it's very refreshing.
I'm
You're
very
such a
glad.
refreshing person to talk to.
Thank you.
Okay, Imbar, I know, how is it today? Wait, let's just have a little small talk before we say bye-bye. How is it today in Israel? How
Oh,
is
it's
it?
quite
How's
hot,
the weather? Yeah,
quite
very
hot,
hot.
quite
All right.
windy,
Oh,
but it's
windy.
getting cooler. It's getting a bit
Uh-huh.
cooler.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, just in time to go and enjoy the beach. Maybe tomorrow,
Okay.
maybe Sunday. I'll go up and sit by the beach, or even go into the water, and we'll
One
see.
of these days, we're
Um,
gonna be together in the beach.
hope so.
You,
I hope
you
so.
said
Maybe
that,
one
right?
day.
Either I go to Israel or you
Yeah,
come to the
yeah. We
Philippines.
never know
I'm
what
really,
happens.
yeah, I'm really gonna like dream for that, aspire for that, to see
Good.
you in Israel.
Excellent.
It's not
Excellent.
it's not impossible. Nothing is
Nothing is
impossible.
impossible. Everything is possible.
Yes.
Everything is possible.
Yes. So, Imbar, with that, I just really like to thank you so much for giving me
You're
the
very, very
time.
welcome.
Yes, I hope you can oblige me with with a part two. We'll talk about something else. We
With
didn't talk about,
pleasure.
yeah, there's so many planes already flying over, so it's I don't know if you can hear it, but like we didn't get to talk about the issues you had when you were bullied, but just give me a one-liner saying how you overcame that, how because there might be people now who are having the same experiences of you
I
with.
did not give them power. I did not let them win. I just was myself
Mm-hmm,
and was my loving self. And when people are confronted with love instead of fear, when somebody bullies you, they usually are scared, or they do stuff for that so that you will feel scared. But when you confront them in another way, hey, you don't give them power. You're not afraid by what they do. You just are yourself, your authentic self. And when you give, instead of fear, you concentrate on love, they can't deal with it. They just will stop, and they will go away. And when you are yourself, when you're your confident self, and you teach yourself confidence, or go learn how to be more confident and more, within yourself, sturdy and steady in yourself, then you won't be bullied. You'll be respected, and not in an aggressive way. You will just be understood. It will be understood that you're your own being, your sovereign being, your very authentic self, and nobody will bother you.
that is really so encouraging, no? Like you have to be able to stand up for yourself and just believe in yourself, right? Did I get you right, Imbar?
Yes,
Just
yes, and
yeah,
not
yeah.
even in an aggressive way, just in a
Yes.
natural way. I am my own self and my own man or woman,
Mm,
and I won't give power to those who bully me or try to take
mm,
stuff away from me in a not in a possession way, in a material way, but just take my power away or my love away or anything that I want that is important for me, you know?
why? That is so beautiful. That's so powerful to hear, especially for the young generation now, who rests their identity on what people say, right? So many of them are doing this, especially the young generation. You
That's
notice
right.
that in bar,
Yes.
they take their self-value depending on how society assesses them, on how many likes they have on their social media page and all. It's sad, but thank our heavenly Lord for people like you who make us pause and think and really just just really be conscious and aware of the things that are at our disposal so that we can accomplish what we were born to do here on earth. So with that, Imbar, I'd like to give you a virtual hug and say my
One
big
back for you and
yeah.
to your listeners and
Yes,
viewers.
yes.
Lots of
Okay.
hugs to everybody.
All right. So I'll talk to you soon. Bye
Talk to you
bye,
later.
Imbar.
Bye
Yeah.
bye.
Bye bye. So that was Imbar Golt recorded earlier from Israel. I hope you enjoyed that short chat we had with her. She is a healer from Israel, born blind, and she's a writer. If you wanna know more about her, you go visit her Facebook page, Imbar Golt. I hope that you've been inspired to believe that all things are possible. In spite of her blindness, she was able to um, become a healer and to be able to become a sailor and even be able to become a writer and a speaker in a radio station. So I believe that God has allowed each of us trials or difficulties so that we can really become special. We can with all our own individual challenges in life, we make up this whole grand, beautiful orchestra of this thing called life. And to all of you watching, to any of you who are watching that might have problems that seem to be too much to handle, and perhaps even situations that are discouraging you, I want you to be encouraged that you're never alone. You're not alone in whatever you're going through right now. We have a big God who's able to take you out of your pain, of your difficulty. And if it may not even seem like that, He's going to help you have a different perspective. Just as Imbar, who's been born blind, has a different perspective about things around her. So you are loved. Don't ever forget that. And so I'd like to leave you with that. Have a wonderful week and days ahead. This is Tita Me for Petty Talks Live. God bless you all. Bye bye for now. See you next Saturday.